Have you ever had everyone around you start questioning your relationship, but the one person you trusted most kept telling you everything was fine? I believed her for 3 years. Then one night I checked a security camera. I still can't get over what she did to me. Heads up, this is going to be a long one. Back in 2015, my family started a retail business, and I worked there as a cashier. We had a little lounge area in the store where regulars would come by, hang out and talk. Over time, a couple of those regular customers got to know me pretty well. Eventually, they found out I was single and looking for someone. One day, they showed me a picture of their roommate. She was 18 at the time, and I was 21. That's where everything started. For the sake of the story, let's call her Ray, and I'll go by Todd. Ray and I started hanging out, and before long, we were dating. About a year into the relationship, she got pregnant, we moved into a small apartment together, and started raising our child. 2 years later, she became pregnant with our second child. By that point, I was completely head over heels for Ray. I thought she was perfect in every way, and it seemed like she felt the same about me. I was working a $12 an hour retail job at the family business, but I worked as hard as I could. Eventually, I saved up enough money to buy her a ring, and she said yes. After our engagement, things started moving fast, and life kept getting better. I was promoted to general manager at the store and even bought shares in the company, making me part owner. The family business was doing incredibly well. We opened 2 more stores in our town and even built a distribution centre. My mum was the boss of the company, and she hired my fiancé to help out in the distribution centre. The two of them became really close friends, and my sister also worked there, and before long my sister and Ray became close friends too. At our stores we sold consumable products along with devices that use those products. Our long-term goal was to partner with a company that could manufacture those consumables for us. Since we had a huge warehouse at the distribution centre, it seemed like the perfect opportunity. My mum and Ray even travelled around the country to conventions trying to find the right partners. Eventually, they found them. 2 guys who made incredible products. For this story, I'll call them Chad and Tom. At the time, Chad and Tom were working out of the back of someone else's shop. They didn't have the money to move cities or build their own lab, so our company fronted the money for them to move and set up full production lab inside our distribution centre. This was around 2019. Around the same time we found out Ray was pregnant with our second child. Chad and Tom seemed like great guys. They were funny, smart and extremely talented at making the product we sold. Their products quickly exploded in popularity around our city. As business grew, they needed help producing more product, so they hired Ray. She left her position with our company and went to work directly for them. It made sense at the time. They paid more money and the lab was still inside the same building. Before long, Ray and I were both making significantly more money. Our combined income went over $100,000 a year. So we bought a house, we got a new car, something safer for the kids of course. And by coincidence, the house we bought was only a block away from Chad and Tom's house. They obviously lived together. Over time, Ray became really close friends with Tom. After work, Tom would often drive her home. Sometimes he'd stop by and the 3 of us would hang out, have a smoke, maybe have a few drinks, nothing wild, just casual evenings. But eventually, I got tired of that routine. I didn't like drinking every night after work, and honestly, I just wanted to come home and relax. I told Ray how I felt and she understood. The nightly hangouts slowed down, but then I noticed something else. She was constantly texting Tom. Now, I'm not a jealous person. I've never cared if people thought my girlfriend was attractive. I didn't control what she wore, who she talked to, but something about the constant texting bothered me. I asked Ray if she had feelings for Tom. She said no, so I dropped it. But the texting never stopped. From 2019 to 2022, they talked every single day, even on days off. Tom showed up to every event we hosted. Eventually, he started coming over to the house all the time again. During those years, something else changed too. Tom and Chad were originally very close with my parents, almost their age, honestly. But slowly, Tom stopped hanging out with my parents and mostly stayed connected through Ray. By that point, the routine had become strange. Every night, Tom would come over and I would usually go sit in the basement. I'd either watch anime or play video games whilst they hung out upstairs. Sometimes they'd come downstairs and join me, but most nights they stayed upstairs. This went on for 3 years. Eventually, I started feeling bitter, lonely, like I was by myself in this house. Half the time I ended up sleeping in the basement while my fiancée had the bedroom upstairs. People started noticing things too. Friends, family members, even her family. They come to me and say things like, "Bro, she hugs Tom way too long. Why'd you let her hang out with him all the time?" Everyone seemed uncomfortable about it. So in 2022, I started bringing it up more often. I tried to be calm about it. I'd say things like, "I know you're not cheating on me, but could you maybe hang out with Tom a little less just to help my peace of mind?" Every time it started a huge fight. Eventually, Ray stopped mentioning Tom at all. She would avoid saying his name completely. But honestly, that made things even worse. One night, she went to a bachelorette party while I was out of town. I was told it was just a girls' night. Later, my sister, who had also been there, told me Tom had shown up and stayed for about an hour before driving Ray home. I didn't confront Ray right away. Instead, when I got back, I asked her casually how the party went. She said it was great. I asked who'd been there. She listed several names, but she never mentioned Tom. So I said, "That's weird. My sister told me Tom drove you home." She immediately said he hadn't really been there. Then I told her my sister said he'd been there for over an hour. That started one of our biggest fights yet. She accused me of not trusting her, asked why I was even with her if I didn't trust her. The next day, Tom was right back at the house like nothing had happened. That night I was sitting in the basement again, and something happened that changed everything. On December 21st, 2022, my mum called me. She sounded upset. She said, "I don't want to start anything, but could you log onto the camera at the distribution centre and rewind to a certain time today? Then decide for yourself what you want to do." My heart was pounding. I logged into the cameras from the basement. At first, it just showed Ray and Tom standing near the counters. Everyone else had clocked out for the day. Ray was sitting on a tool stool trying to put it on a shoe. At one point, she lifted her foot and placed it on Tom's chest. He grabbed her foot, started rubbing her leg. They laughed. At one point, he even kissed her foot. Then she put her shoe on and they left. I sat there in silence for about an hour. Technically, they hadn't done anything major, but it just felt wrong. Later that night, when Tom wasn't around, I asked Ray if she had put her foot on Tom's chest. She denied it. So I showed her the video. She laughed it off like it was nothing. That's when I snapped. The fight that followed was the biggest we'd ever had. And at the end of it, I broke up with her. Not because of the cheating, because she lied to me. I honestly expected her to fight for the relationship. We had 2 kids, a house, an engagement, 7 years together. But she didn't fight at all. And that's where things got even worse.